Hey guys, Brian from Snow Walker Bushcrafting. Today I kind of want to talk about winter layering. I kind of went over that in my winter loadout as far as some of the garments that I do wear. Now I kind of want to actually show them to you and then just kind of go through the layering aspect of your clothing. In the wintertime, you want to be able to layer your clothes so that as your activity increases and as your metabolism increases and you start to get warmer, all right, we can take layers off. All right, this way it prevents us from getting sweated, and then when we get sweated, we get wet. A major component to all this is you've heard the old saying, cotton kills. And yes, it does. Cotton does kill because it doesn't evaporate. It holds and retains its moisture, but that's when it's close to your body and next to your body. So we don't ever want to have cotton to be our underlying layers, all right? So when I start off, generally, I'll go out and I'll wear a moisture wicking layer, of briefs plus a t-shirt, all right? I don't think I need to show you that. So from there, then I just start my layering, and depending upon the weather conditions that I have, if it's really bitterly cold, then I'll wear a polypropylene type underwear, long underwear with a top, or I'll wear a merino wool, a very thin merino wool layer to accomplish the same thing. So once the transference of perspiration from my body starts, it goes into the wicking layer and then goes into that layer. It's then transported to the insulative layer, which your first insulative layer, I usually like to wear a sweater. I've gotten back into wearing more and more sweaters. I used to wear a lot of fleece, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can wear whatever it is good for you, and I don't want you to think that what I say is the gospel, okay? You have to design your clothing and what you're going to wear for yourself to maintain your body core temperature for yourself, okay? These are just some of the things that I use, and it's more or less tips, okay? You can try them, you don't have to try them, all right? So I'll go into a sweater, and I'll wear that as well, and that'll be my first real insulative layer, okay? After that, I'll go into a heavier layer, and that, again, will be of a wool nature. And one of the things that I like is more or less like a blanket shirt, okay? And this is a heavy-duty wool blanket coat or blanket shirt, whichever way you want to look at it, all right? It's very long, all right, so that it comes down and protects my rear end, my hips, all right, and my kidneys, all right? You see a lot of people wearing the short things for fashion. That's really great, but I don't think that it really has a place for when we're out here and we're doing bushcrafting, okay? Fashion is not functional when we're out here, okay? You're not going to look like a model walking down the runway, that's for sure, okay? So I have this. I also have a hood. I love hoods. Hoods are the greatest thing, okay? They give you that extra layer of protection for around your head and your neck. We all know that we'll lose at least 80% of our heat through our head, all right? So I'll go into this, and I'll wear that for my heavy insulative layer. Let's talk about our outer layers, all right? As you can see here, what I'm actually wearing now, this is a cotton anorak, okay? It's more or less designed as a wind garment, okay? It is cotton. It's 100% cotton. It's a tight weave cotton. The wind does not get into it, all right? Benefits to this, okay? If you're sitting next to a fire and you're drying out and a spark comes up and hits it, it's not going to burn, all right? This is a major issue, all right? We're going to talk about the fact that this is not, per se, for a wet weather environment. And what I mean by that is this is not going to afford you the protection of Gore-Tex, all right, if you're in a downpour of rain. If you're walking in snow and it's snowing down, okay, it'll afford you enough protection. Once you get your fire made, you can sit right next to the fire and it's going to dry out, okay? Now, I'm not saying that you can't use Gore-Tex, okay, but here is the actual myth of Gore-Tex. I've talked to manufacturers of Gore-Tex. I talked to their representatives a long time ago when I was in the dog sledding. Okay, I've gone through North Face, I've gone through Patagonia, I've gone through Mountain Hardwear, I've gone through Mammoth. They all did the same thing. Okay, I don't care if it's Gore-Tex, Vatrax, Supplex, whatever. Okay, they all claim that it's waterproof and it's breathable. Well, here's the myth. Gore-Tex, the industrial application of Gore-Tex, is to fix leaks in large pipes. They take it in sheets, they go around, they seal it off, and it doesn't leak anymore. Okay? If it's waterproof, it is not breathable. Alright? And here's where they say that. This is a military jacket. It's 3 layers of Gore-Tex. If it's so breathable, then why do they have to have a pit zip that large to let your perspiration leave from your outer layer or your insulative layer? All right? I'm not going to get into, long discussions about it. This is just a plain simple fact. If you wear this and you start to overheat, all right, any moisture that comes off your insulative value or your insulative layer will frost on the inside because it has no way to escape. Even if you open up your pit zips all the way, you will still frost up on the back. You will then become cold, and then it's not what you want. All right, so there's 2 things that you need to remember. You need to, as your metabolism and your body activity increases, you decrease the number of layers. Okay? If I've been out in 20-degree weather building snow trenches and things of that nature in nothing more than my thin layer that I have for my first barrier. Okay? And that's because I'm generating a lot of heat. Something to remember. I'm not saying that Gore-Tex doesn't have its place, because it does. If you're in a downpour, I would rather be wearing this than to be wearing this. Okay? But if it's not, you may want to start to think about more of the natural materials that were used for a long time. All right? Now, as far as on my legs, I wear canvas pants. I wear either Carhartts or I wear Schmitz. Carhartts are a little bit more heavy duty. If it's a lot colder, I like to wear those, especially if there's more wind. Now again, you talk about if you're moving around and you're doing things on the ground and you're getting wet, okay, that's not really good. If I had a really good pair of wool pants, I just haven't found a pair that I like, I would be wearing wool pants. Okay, I'm strongly looking at a pair that LL Bean makes right now. I'll let you know about that. But for the time being, that's what I wear. Okay, I wear straight Schmidt work pants or Carhartts. Now you're going to ask yourself, well, if you're doing all that stuff and you're doing that activity in the snow, aren't you going to get wet? You will, except that I carry with me. This is a single layer of Gore-Tex, which is double extra large, so that I can put this on over the top of everything. And this is a military pair. Same difference, a little more heavy duty though. Alright? They're sized large, double extra large on both of these, so that I can slip them over everything. I put these on, I can go about my business in the snow if I'm making a Quincy hut, if I'm making a snow trench. I don't have to worry about getting wet. Alright? Then when I'm all done, I take these off. Alright? Let's talk about our hands, okay? If we can't do our manual dexterity test, it's bad. We know we're going to get in the stages of hypothermia. We don't want to get there. We don't want to have our hands there, alright? So, I'm a big fan of them. I don't care. I start with a pair of glove liners. You can go fingerless. You can use fingers, right? They're not bad. It's a nice first layer. If you start to get into, long trekking and things of that nature, and you're not prepared, you should start to think about, you know, a larger pair of gloves, right? What I look for in a pair of gloves, it has to have a large gauntlet on it so that it goes up over the top of your cuff, right? And you should be able to cinch off at the wrist, right? This way, it will be able to seal out some of the cold that maybe the gauntlet doesn't, that maybe the gauntlet allows to get in. Something else that I'm looking at, if you can see here, there's a lanyard on it, right? If you look at these big mitts here, all right, these again are very large, and I use these in extremely cold weather. And I will wear a pair of glove liners on the inside as well, even though these have a liner. Again, helps you if you put the right hand on it. It goes up, right? Mittens are warmer than gloves. Reason being, your hands, skin to skin, it's always warmer, all right? If you got them separated, then they have to fend for themselves. So remember that mittens are a lot warmer, okay? I tied off another lanyard. Basically, I wear these around my neck. It's an idiot string. That's what I like to call it. Call it whatever you like. Call it a lanyard. Call it an idiot string, all right? You don't want to lose your gloves. You don't want to lose your major component to your system for your hands, okay? Last but not least, right now, I'm wearing a pair of Native American mucklucks. I like these. It gives my feet a chance to move around, all right, so that they become warmer, all right? If you pack everything in there and it's tight, it restricts the circulation in your foot. Your feet will start to get cold, okay? Benefits, again, of mucklucks being that they're of natural materials, they're light on your feet, they keep you very warm, they are breathable, okay? The problem with them is you can't use them in a wet environment again. So you have to look and you have to discern where you're going and what you're doing and your activity and, you know, the trail that you're going to take, right? If you're going to be doing a lot of water crossings, you're certainly not going to wear these. So you're going to wear something of a muck boot or a pack boot style boot, all right? They're waterproof, all right? Nothing permeates them. The water doesn't get in there, all right? That's something, again, you can carry these, okay? If you saw the video with the sled, there's nothing saying that you can't carry a pair of these for walking around in your camp when you're all done, all right? You may not want to wear that heavy-duty pair of pack boots while you're walking around. You may want to give your feet time to relax, all right? So that's kind of a brief overview of layering and how it is my approach to it. And these are all things that have worked for me, and they will continue to work for me until I find something a little bit better. All right, guys, to wrap it up, I did forget one thing. We want to talk about headwear. Okay, so before you go on about how ridiculous this hat looks, it works because it's warm, because it's 100% wool. All right, I'm a bald guy, I shave my head. We know, again, we lose 80% of our heat through our head and through our neck, okay? So headwear is important, and as well, the more you generate heat, obviously you're going to remove your hat, all right? And you're going to let some of the heat get away from you, and then it's going to, you know, lower your temperature, and then by regulating your core again. Whether or not you want to wear a hat like this, whether you want to wear a bomber hat or a plain knitted hat, you know, this is all up to you, all right? Your appendages, your ears and whatnot, all right, they may have a tendency to get cold, so you're going to want to cover your ears, all right? The other thing is you're may want to have a scarf, all right? If this doesn't come up and completely go around your neck, you may want to add a scarf, all right? One of the nicer things that I like to use too, I just didn't grab one, I forgot about it, it was an afterthought, was the fleece neck gaiters, all right? You just take them, put them around your neck, it's solid, and it's good, and they work. And it's not long like a scarf, but it accomplishes the same thing. So, sorry I didn't add that in before. One other thing in reference to the cotton anorak. when you have this on, because it is so large, okay, this one is made with a cinch on the inside, but you know, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll wear like a Voyager sash or a Meta sash. And what that does is it helps create a bellowing effect, all right, and you can control the amount of the bellow by using that sash, all right. Again, it pumps the hot air out, and then this way, you know, it helps regulate your core temperatures. All right. Sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked on some things, but again, this is Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft. Thank you for your views and your comments. Till the next one, walk the woods.